Ever noticed how the wealthiest people often wear the simplest clothes? Take Mark Zuckerberg, for example. Despite his billions, he's usually seen in a plain gray t-shirt. It looks like something you could pick up at Target. That's the secret of the ultra-rich. True luxury doesn't need to shout, it whispers. The rich don't need any fancy item or cloth to show around that they are rich. Instead, they are satisfied with what they have and they prioritize comfort over showpiece. So what does this mean? Well, the luxury fashion is an illusion, and it's not for the ultra-rich, but luxury fashion is in fact for poor people. In this video, we're going to show you why splurging on those high-end brands might not be worth your hard-earned money. You'll see how luxury fashion isn't just for the rich and famous. It's actually aimed more at regular people like us, trying to look the part without the billionaire bank account. So subscribe to the channel, and let's get started. Now, the first big reason why luxury fashion is often targeted towards those who aren't actually rich is due to the misconceptions of wealth and fashion. You see, there's a big misconception out there that to look wealthy, you need to wear clothes that scream luxury. Think big, flashy logos from brands like Gucci or Louis Vuitton. But let's look at some of the wealthiest people out there. Warren Buffett, one of the richest men in the world, is famous for his simple and unpretentious style. He's often seen in plain suits that don't shout his billionaire status. And Steve Jobs, he made the black turtleneck and jeans look iconic, a uniform that was as simple as it gets, but undeniably classy. This goes to show that true luxury isn't about logos plastered all over your clothes. It's about quality and simplicity. That's why luxury fashion is really for the poor people who feel the pressure to flaunt their economic status. Now, why is this important? Because it highlights a key point. High net worth individuals often prefer items that are high in quality but low in obvious branding. This kind of luxury is quiet. It doesn't need to shout its worth because the real value is in the craftsmanship and the material, not in the logo. That's why real luxury fashion is more about being understated. It's for those in the know, and it doesn't cater to the need for public validation. Now, in all these, there is the role of social perception in fashion choices. This brings us to how society perceives wealth through fashion. There's an old saying, dress for the job you want, not the job you have. This mentality can often lead people to spend beyond their means to mimic an image of success they aspire to. It's why luxury fashion brands market so heavily with flashy ads and celebrity endorsements. They want to tap into the dream of wealth that so many chase. This is exactly why luxury fashion is for poor people. It isn't just for the rich. It's targeted heavily towards the middle class and even the lower economic classes who are most susceptible to this imagery. So what can you do if you want to escape this cycle of chasing luxury for the sake of appearance? Start by focusing on quality over brand names. Look for clothes that are well-made, but don't necessarily come with a luxury label. Shop at local boutiques, check out artisan markets, or even explore online platforms that offer quality garments without the luxury tax. By choosing quality and craftsmanship over branding, you're not just saving money. You're also cultivating a personal style that speaks to who you are, not just what you own. And remember, next time you see a celebrity or an influencer decked out in branded luxury, think about what they're really selling. Is it the quality of the clothes or the image? Often it's the latter. That's a clear indicator of why luxury fashion is really for poor people. The brands are selling an image, a dream of wealth that many buy into, hoping to reflect a status they aspire to achieve. By understanding this dynamic, you can make more informed choices about where you invest your fashion budget. It's not about rejecting luxury altogether, but rather understanding who it's really for and choosing pieces that genuinely meet your needs and express your individual style. All right, let's move on to another crucial point that really drives home why luxury fashion is often more appealing to those who can least afford it. This next point is about economic insecurity and how it influences luxury brand consumption. There's a fascinating trend that unfolds when you look at places with big gaps between the rich and the poor. Studies have shown that in areas where this income inequality is more pronounced, there's a higher search rate for luxury brands. Why do you think that is? It's because when people feel economically insecure, when they see a big divide between their life and the life of the wealthy, they often feel a pressure to bridge that gap, at least in appearance. This behavior is supported by Google search trends, where you can see more people in economically unequal states searching for brands like Gucci, Louis Vuitton, and Prada. It's not just about liking these brands, it's about what wearing these brands represents. It's a way for people to signal to others that they are doing well, that they are successful, despite what their real economic situation might be. That's why luxury fashion is for the poor people, or more accurately, for those feeling the pinch but desperate to show otherwise. Think about how often you see celebrities or influencers flashing their latest luxury brand outfits on social media. It creates an image that this is the norm, that having these brands is a sign of success. For someone sitting at home scrolling through their feed, seeing these images can create a feeling of lack, a sense that they need to catch up. It's a powerful motivator, isn't it? This constant bombardment of luxury goods associated with success drives people to aspire to own the same, even if it strains their finances. Research has mapped out where people are most likely to search for luxury brands, and guess what? The pattern matches almost perfectly with areas that have high levels of income inequality. This is a clear indicator of a broader social trend where people use luxury goods as a way to cope with and conceal their economic realities. And that's why luxury fashion is a tool used to fight back against the stigma of economic insecurity. In sum, luxury fashion often serves as a band-aid for economic insecurity, offering a temporary, if costly, boost in perceived social status. That's a key reason why luxury fashion is really for the poor people among us, those who feel the need to display success in a material way. Moving from how economic insecurity drives people towards luxury brands, another compelling facet of this scenario is the world of counterfeit luxury goods. This is a massive part of why luxury fashion really speaks to those who aren't actually rich, but want to appear as if they are. This leads us to another reason which impacts how these products are marketed and sold, shifting the focus from genuine luxury to accessible indulgence. Have you ever walked down Canal Street in New York? If you have, you've likely seen the bustling stalls filled with what appear to be luxury handbags, watches, and jewelry, all selling for a fraction of the expected price. Or perhaps you've browsed through websites like AliExpress, where brand-name goods are available at startlingly low prices. The reality here is that these are not genuine articles, but counterfeits. These markets thrive because there's a huge demand for luxury goods at accessible prices, especially among those who cannot afford the real deal. This surge in counterfeit luxury goods underscores a stark reality. Many people are desperate to project wealth and status through the brands they wear, even if it means wearing a fake. This is particularly prevalent in areas with significant economic diversity, where the difference between the haves and the have-nots is both stark and highly visible. That's why luxury fashion is, ironically, a staple for poorer people. It gives them a way to visually communicate success and status without the bank account to back it up. Why do people buy fake luxury items? It's all about perception. In many societies, success and status are measured by material possessions. If you show up wearing a watch or carrying a bag with a luxury logo, people often don't question whether it's real. They just see the logo and make assumptions about your economic status. This is a powerful motivator for those who feel left behind by the wealth gap. They can buy into a perceived social standing that feels otherwise out of reach. And that's precisely why the counterfeit market is booming. It's fueled by the desire to belong, to be seen as successful, and to feel validated. In the age of Instagram and Facebook, where appearances can be everything, the pressure to present a glamorous lifestyle can be overwhelming. Social media platforms are filled with images of people flaunting their supposedly luxurious lifestyles, intensifying the demand for luxury goods. For many, the only affordable way to compete in this digital show and tell is through counterfeit luxury items. It's a cycle that perpetuates the illusion of wealth among those who aspire to it the most. So the prevalence of counterfeit luxury goods is a significant indicator of why luxury fashion is for poor people. It's not so much about the items themselves, but about what they represent. The irony is that in trying to mimic the wealthy, those buying fakes are supporting an industry that undercuts the very essence of luxury. This paradox highlights the complex relationship between identity, wealth, and consumerism in contemporary society. By the way, if you're enjoying the video so far and want more content like this, comment the word "more" so I know. Another reason that ties into why luxury fashion is so enticing to those who can least afford it pivots around the social pressures that many face, especially during times of economic hardship, like the COVID-19 pandemic. Consider the unusual surge in luxury spending observed during the COVID-19 pandemic, a time when logic would suggest a tightening of belts rather than a splurging on luxuries. Interestingly, the pandemic did not dampen luxury sales. In fact, they increased. Why? A part of this spending was fueled by stimulus checks. It seems counterintuitive, right? People facing economic uncertainty, yet choosing to spend on luxury goods. This behavior underscores a critical insight into human psychology and the social pressures that drive our consumption habits. During the pandemic, when many were losing jobs and facing financial instability, the purchase of luxury items served as a tool for maintaining a semblance of normalcy and social status. It's a phenomenon where people feel compelled to uphold an image of financial stability to their peers, even if it means stretching their budgets. That's why luxury fashion is particularly appealing to the less affluent. It's used as a shield against the stigma of economic hardship. Celebrities and social media influencers play a massive role in this trend. Throughout the pandemic, the internet was still filled with images of celebrities in designer outfits, vacationing in exotic locations, and living a seemingly unaffected life. These images create a sharp contrast to the everyday struggles of ordinary people, which can heighten feelings of inadequacy and social pressure. The message is subtle but powerful. To belong, to be successful, to be normal, one must emulate this luxurious lifestyle, pandemic or not. This is where the saying, "keeping up with the Joneses," takes a modern twist. It's no longer just about keeping up with your neighbors, but also with the Kardashians, the Rihannas, or any other public figure who seems to live the dream life. That's why luxury fashion is for poor people, as it becomes a means to an end, a way to project success and maintain social status in a highly visible, social media-driven world. So, what can one do to resist this pressure to spend on luxury items, especially when it doesn't align with one's financial reality? First, it's crucial to cultivate an awareness of the forces at play. Recognize that much of what is portrayed online is curated and represents an idealized version of reality. Practicing critical thinking when consuming media can help detach one's self-worth from material possessions. As we see, the social pressures to maintain an image of affluence can drive economically vulnerable populations towards luxury consumption. This phenomenon explains why luxury fashion isn't just for those who can comfortably afford it, but paradoxically, for those who can't. It's a cultural shift where the appearance of wealth has become intertwined with social acceptance and self-esteem. Finally, the last compelling angle that explains why luxury fashion is so appealing to those who might not traditionally afford it. We see a deliberate shift in the way luxury brands target their market, focusing increasingly on the middle class rather than just the ultra-rich. This strategy is quite telling and feeds directly into the narrative that luxury fashion is for poor people, or at least those aspiring to appear wealthy. Traditionally, luxury brands marketed themselves as exclusive, catering only to the wealthiest consumers. However, in recent years, there's been a noticeable shift. These brands have realized that the middle class holds significant purchasing power, especially when it comes to aspiring for a higher status. Therefore, luxury brands have adjusted their strategies to make their products more accessible to this demographic without losing the allure of exclusivity that comes with high prices and perceived high value. This shift involves clever marketing tactics such as creating artificial scarcity, releasing limited quantities of products to instigate a buzz and make them seem more desirable. They also employ high-margin pricing strategies that, while keeping the products expensive, still make them just attainable enough for middle-class consumers who are willing to stretch their budgets for a taste of luxury. This approach exploits the common desire among the middle class to signify upward social mobility and affluence. Why this matters. Well, this strategic focus on the middle class explains why luxury fashion is for poor people. It highlights a crucial aspect. Luxury brands aren't just selling products, they're selling dreams, dreams of status, dreams of belonging to a higher social class. By making these dreams slightly attainable, they tap into a vast market of individuals who crave the social prestige associated with luxury goods. That's why you'll see folks who might not have a lot of disposable income splurging on a designer bag or watch. It's an investment in their social identity, an attempt to brand themselves as part of a more affluent class. Adding to this, the influence of celebrities and social media cannot be understated. Famous personalities, often seen as trendsetters, are adorned with the latest luxury fashion, which they flaunt to millions of followers. This visibility creates aspirational goals for the middle class, who see these luxury items as gateways to achieving a similar status or lifestyle. When a celebrity says, "This is the must-have bag of the season," it sends middle-class consumers rushing to get their hands on one, driven by the fear of missing out, FOMO, and the desire to be part of a trendy, affluent crowd. This strategic shift of luxury brands targeting the middle class by creating an illusion of exclusivity while remaining accessible is a key reason why luxury fashion is indeed for poor people. It's a clever manipulation of consumer desires and social aspirations. To sum up the whole discussion about why luxury fashion is for poor people, it's clear that the industry isn't just selling products. It's selling an image, an experience, and a status that many aspire to, often at great personal cost. This journey through the realities behind luxury brand marketing strategies, the allure of counterfeit goods, the psychological impacts of economic insecurity, and the deliberate targeting of middle-class consumers reveals a profound truth. Luxury fashion often caters more to those dreaming of wealth than to those who actually possess it. Now, if you found this video helpful, I highly recommend watching my next video, which is the perfect complement to this one. Do not hesitate to share this video. It may help someone. Subscribe to the channel and share your thoughts on today's video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.